What is up? What is up, you guys? How is K Nation doing today, guys? How y'all doing? It's been quite an interesting week, honestly, for this off season. It's been kind of quiet for a while, and then a whole bunch of news been popping around. How are you guys feeling? How are y'all? I see we got how many people we got in the chat. I don't want to jumpstart this conversation too quickly before everyone's joining. We got about 11 people. All right, how y'all doing? Just let me know. I want to hear you guys' thoughts. How are y'all doing this evening? I know the stream. Let's see, the stream is going real well. All right. So today's topic, as you saw probably in the thumbnail or at least in the description below, is hey, what's up? Darth Vader, the stash. Hey, I know, man. It's been like kind of cold and rainy, so I've been like, yeah, whatever. Man, what's up, Kelvin Williams? How you doing, brother? Been a great month to be a Kane Micas. I agree, man. What's up, Q Irvin, man? Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the channel, man. How y'all doing? So, Manny Diaz has been doing some interesting actions and news, and it's pretty. Everyone got fired up. What's up, Jalen Williams? How you doing, brother? Talking about big moves, big bold statements. What he's doing. Hey, Eric Galway, how you doing, brother? How y'all doing? And I was just kind of thinking, we love hearing that. We love the talk, but can he back it up? Is something, we got to keep in mind and talk about, because you walk around, guns blazing, talking, making these statements and all of that, but if the scoreboard doesn't show it, it's almost better that you never said anything in the first place, And don't get me wrong, I love Manny Diaz's style and what he's been doing, his energy, but Cynthia, how you doing? Welcome. I appreciate all y'all joining in. So I'm gonna wanted to, join in, hear my Kane Nation, what y'all think about this. What do you guys think about Manny Diaz walking around making big, bold statements? Is he pushing it too far? Is it gonna look bad if he's not, on spot and producing on the scoreboard come time? 808 Kane says, of course he can. Yeah, all right. I like that. Manny will back it up. It has much fire as players dealing with run with wall syndrome. And that's one thing, man. These players will do anything for Manny Diaz and how he's been, and I love it. I love it. Don't get me wrong, I love it, but think about it though. At the end of the Florida Gators game, if we don't win it, my guess is he can't push too far. The man is undefeated as head coach at two universities. Demaya Dawson, what's up, fan? How y'all doing? The hype is all over after the first game versus Florida, Kevin Williams says. I guess you're a Gator fan, aren't you, Kevin, huh? Aren't you, Kelvin? Gator fan here. But it's bold statements here. Let me pull one up just what I'm talking about. Now, this one isn't like 100% official, but, here's, let me see if I can pull it up and get it correctly. There we go. Manny Diaz is a savage. This is just a pop on Instagram. It's saying, this is what we're trying to bring back to the U, the FU type of swagger. Now, I haven't been able to find any other place other than this Instagram account that has stated that, to verify it. But I wouldn't be surprised if he actually said that. Okay, again all day. But, no. I guess Golden, no. That background, I found an old locker room background. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then I saw that, on the wall, Golden. I don't even know if it's 4L Golden tenure or not. They don't have a lot of really good pictures of the inside the locker room. I just have that in the background. Now we got that gone. Forget that tie and all that. Man, I burned all my orange ties for Golden. That was disgusting little frick, man. I'm curious what Manny Diaz is. His swagger, how he dresses. I know most people don't think about it and don't care, but to me, how a coach dresses for a game tells me about his personality and his style. And Nick Saban doesn't have much style personality, so he does a pretty typical coaching, dressing up, drop. Algorn thought he was going to do something with this. It was not Miami. Are you kidding me? Tie and everything. I remember experts saying Golden was the next Saban when we hired him. Dude, I don't remember it going that far, but that's kind of, they look bad now, don't they? Oh my gosh, that was awful. It was not a Miami guy at all, man. Believe it is real 808 Canes. I got you, man. I got you. Hey, it's not that I'm in unbelief, but I'm thinking here, let's just say, look, if we don't play nice and don't play dreamy and say Miami doesn't show up like the hype does, I think they will. I believe they will. But let's say, worst case scenario, they don't. how does Manny Diaz look after making these big statements? You know what I'm saying? Let's be honest, our schedule's super weak. We should win most of the games, even if only the defense plays. Darth Vader, I agree with you, man. I agree with you 100%. I was looking at the schedule, and honestly, I'm feeling like 11-3, like worst case scenario, really. Calvin, so ready for the game, trying to get tickets. Yeah, man, but hold on, you know, we got a date and stuff changing around. Miami Vice style synthesis. I like that. Yeah, for sure. I mean, Mark Richt was just, okay, he got fired up on the sidelines against the refs, but like, he was still a calm dude. Diaz, like, he's a stud, man. And I hope he wears something different kind of than a defense core. He doesn't have to, but it'd be kind of interesting, gaudy looking, you know. He's the guy that invented the turnover chain, you know. I expect there to be a hashtag TNM for the defensive side of the ball for a turnover chain. And he's taking votes and polls, and the offense says, hey, we want one too. Now, it'd be even more creative and better if it's not just the chain for the offense and just the chain for the defense, but a different kind of figurine of sorts, you know, a sideline prop for the offense, in my opinion. You know, they've had the little, like, hammer, I guess, thing going around before. The thing is, last couple of coaches were very hyped in our beginning, and when we lost our hope on our team. Manny Diaz has heart. You know, he does. That's something that's different to me. You took all the past coaches, and, like, I even remember the interviews and everything. You know, Al Golden, he talked on Skype about stuff from his kitchen, just chill and relax and just doing his job, checking off his list. And then Rick was talking about cutting sandwiches or some crap at ACC Media Day. Like, what? Diaz is out here recruiting, talking about you need to bring fire, you need to bring Miami, we're going to kick your ass in the national championship, or you can play with us while we kick everyone else's ass. I mean, that's quite a different kind of style, and I like that. Daddy Diaz needs to be with all his contacts and get the bags flowing. For sure, man. We could definitely use it. I mean, we have the nice indoor facility, but we need more. There's so much more that needs to be done. For sure, dude. For sure. I want to see something really, really cool, a crazy prop, you know, and if it gets sponsored. I've heard that the chain, from the range of 30 to 60K is what the turnover chain cost last year. I don't know how true that is. I mean, it's just a guesstimate from people that are knowledgeable about it, but I mean, that's some pretty big money right there. It's pretty awesome. What's up, dog? What's up? Bella wanted to get in on the chat. What you think, Bella? What you think? Are you gonna eat some gator meat? I'm gonna get her a little, like, stuffed gator during the game, and I'm gonna throw it to her, and I'm gonna let her rip it apart. She rips up toys like crazy. Hey, how about you bring one of your toys, Bella? How about you show what you do to your toys? Look at this, guys. I mean, this was a nice, cute little dinosaur. That's the only thing that's left of it. I'm not even kidding. It's pretty crazy. So she's going to have a little gator, and she's going to tear up during the game tomorrow. What I think of a golden crown for the offense, and Darth Vader said, Manny wants Miami to Miami. If that happens and wins in recruiting, will work itself out. I agree. You know, each coach we've had previous seasons, they kind of wanted to reiterate their style, their culture. And Diaz said, I'm going to embrace it. I mean, his last name says it. That is him in a way. But I think he brings more of a Miami vibe than it is just naturally him. He's hanging out like a Mr. Didi vibe. I love that. I love that. You're 100% accurate. He really is. But he's got to prove it on the field, you know? It will look really weird and odd if you walk around gunslinging and crazy and you don't have a 10-win season with our schedule. I mean, you have to. There's no excuses. If you look at the schedule, in fact, I'm going to pull up on the side here. It just, you can't go around walking and talking the talk like that and then losing to more than, 2 to 3 teams for this schedule. I don't understand it, you know? It wouldn't make any sense, and it's something we got to keep in mind and be careful of, all right? So here it is. Here's our schedule. Now, the Florida game is going to be a big one, and it may or may not be August 31st, but the other one you got to watch out for, it's down to the bottom of the season. I mean, look at this. North Carolina, there's no reason we should be losing to them. None at all, okay? Golden won't that bad of a coach. Remember the program under sanctions, so Golden had to work with what he had. Okay, there was the weird cloud and such over his head. Credit where credit is due. He kept the boat kind of afloat, but I don't know. The only team that has more recruiting talent than us is FSU. That's exactly what I wanted to point out. I'm glad you mentioned Darth Vader. It is exactly the point. I mean, North Carolina's in a rebuilding state. They got Mac Brown there as head coach, and he's got a process to build there. These are FCS schools, which there's no excuses there. And the thing that I'm going to be actually looking for, obviously, is a win and the scoreboard being like crazy loop-sided. But I want to see our backup guys getting a whole bunch of playtime and see what they're at and their talent so that we get the best talent out there on the field for the rest of the season. Because after that, we have Virginia Tech, and they've kind of been on a slide of a downslope after last year. We'll see where they're at this year. We'll be kind of in the meat of the schedule now, 5 games in. I expect it to still be a good and very competitive game, ACC schedule. But other than that, I mean, Virginia, no excuses ever for Miami to lose or even keep the game competitive with them. Just none. None. Georgia Tech, it used to be that they gave us headaches with their triple option, but here's the thing. The coach is gone, a different coach, and it's not going to be triple option, yet it's going to be players that were recruited for triple option. That's not really good. But the young men love his vibe. I agree with you, Cincy. Most definitely. FSU has some nice cornerbacks, about 20 of them. That's why they got their rankings. The roster management is a disaster. And Kenny, you're saying nobody's talking about how bad our offensive line was last year. What are we doing about that? Kenny, we've done some stuff. Recruiting-wise, okay, so we may not be getting the offensive lineman transfers that we wanted. Braun, I heard, is more interested in some SEC schools. But let me finish my talk on the schedule here. Really, the only guys, I mean, I'd kind of be slightly okay, understandable to a Virginia Tech team, but disappointed. FSU and Florida, both rivalry games, fine. But Louisville and Duke, FIU, no excuses. So really 2 losses is what's acceptable from this season. Maybe 3, just something crazy happened in the third game, maybe. But that's a disappointment. That's losing every single game that we were like 50-50 on. The rest, we should be winning them. And last year, that happened more times than we can count, More time than we can count. Kennedy and a real coach should be hopefully help. Yeah, to answer Kennedy's question, yeah, good point, Mike. We got a really good offensive lineman coach in Butch Berry that he's an NFL offensive lineman coach, and he's coaching these guys up. And plus, we got a great strength and conditioning coach, and that's going to give an effect for the offensive linemen also. And he's been changing the culture like crazy at Miami. And if you listen to what he talks about and what he does is he doesn't just make very good and difficult and building up workouts, which is great. Nothing's wrong with that. Everything's awesome about that. But the other thing that he's doing is he's making them fun. He's making them really, really fun and exciting, and the players are wanting to do it. Vader says our offensive line is fine. The system killed us. No offensive line can push defense with 8 and stacked in the box. SEC will see 10 times improvement O-line. Yeah, Darth Vader, to your point, I believe it was the Virginia Tech game, I think. And there was another one, I can't remember off the top of my head, where Miami played a slightly different style under arrogant head Mark Richt because our tight ends were all injured. It was much more of a spread offense, and the line held their deal the whole time. They were fine. They were great. By the way, guys, phone line is open. I have it open. If you want to call in. That number works. I'll throw it down in the chat for y'all. I want to hear you guys' thoughts on what y'all are thinking, how y'all are feeling of these big old bold statements that we're making. Is it going to look really bad? It seems like most of y'all are loving it, and I'm with y'all too. I really think that it's great for the program, the system, and he's not going out of his mind. He isn't. Let go of the past, look into the future, make 100% win, Cynthia says. What offense produced game I predict our season? I really hope. That was Virginia Tech we spread out. Yeah. If your line is suspect, spread out, make the defense work. And Donnie mentions, his offensive scheme will take some pressure off the O-line. Exactly. You guys are just nailing it. I mean, there's not much for me to say. It's just read off your comments. Exactly. Danny knows, he's not a dumb guy. He's been experienced in the football world, and he knows what to do. And I won't say cover up mistakes, but feature what works for you and don't feature what doesn't work for you. Mark Richt wanted to feature what he wanted to work, and it didn't. The offensive line was not there. I don't know what was going on with his recruiting and coaching of them and why that was so. If he wanted to have that system, he should have had that, addressed. But Danny Knows has said he's going to build the offensive system around his players and the personnel types he has. So you sit here in the offensive coordinator and you say that, and then you're like, man, our O-line sucks. What do? You put the pressure off of them. How do you do that? Spread offense, like Veda said. You throw some screens. You got to be passing a bit more. And then later on in the game, hopefully, if you're passing efficiently, not throwing Malik Rozier's balls to the next door stadium, and Jeff Thomas has a chance. Calvin, so glad Rick is gone. RICHT, yes. I mean, it re-energized us. It would have been a very bleak and difficult season for Miami had he stayed. So, but respect to where credit is due. He left in a way that put Miami in a good position. He could have stayed around and just drained it with money, but he didn't. Enos had an average 34 points per game against NCC opponents in 2015. His first year, back at Arkansas, and then he put 50 or more points on Auburn, Ole Miss, Mississippi State. Yeah, exactly. And the other thing that I want to add to that, he always improved quarterbacks. The quarterback play was so much more efficient under Enos. In fact, I'm going to pull up the article that I saw that it was throwing up stats back when he was at Cincinnati, I believe it was. And other places. I don't want to be mistaken. I don't remember every single place he's been at, but let me pull it up and talk. There's specific examples. Every single quarterback he talked on it, and it was amazing. Who is this talking, country boy? This is Anton, man. My name is Anton. Miami Hurricanes time here. Rick left this program in great shape. Yeah, he did. I hope Tate have to sit out a year. Really, Anthony, that's very interesting. Rick did a poor job getting the ball to his playmakers also. Hey, FTL Raw, how's you doing, man? How you doing, brother? Glad to have you join, man. You always here. So, here's the article that I was referring to. I want to pull up over here. So, this is Dan Enos and what he's done for just about every single player. And his quarterbacks are second and third in school history for passing yards where he was at in Central Michigan, which is interesting enough, as we're as you see right here, we're playing them. So, that's kind of interesting. But the other part, you look at here, he improved these guys consistently. I mean, if we get a Brandon like 65.9%, basically 66%, with only 8 interceptions and 30 touchdowns, if any quarterback did that, the amount of hitting yardage in a game that brings is astonishing. It's just crazy. It's huge. It's a giant difference. It's just, I can't speak enough volumes of it. And there's constantly, articles and stuff that people put up that, hey, if Miami just scores 28 points, they win. They win. Why would you want Tate to sit out and waste a year? That's an interesting question. I do wonder what's up with that. Back up your comment, Anthony. Sure, I'm moving the game around and refund. Oh, man, dude. Yeah, they're changing the game around. They are, man. It's going to be an issue for sure. But it's not confirmed yet. It's still up in the air. Jalen Williams will be a threat to start the year. He's a sleeper in Vailtire quarterback. Perry the man, watch. You think Perry's the man. As long as Enos doesn't say lethal simplicity, I'm good. But that's what he's going for, right? Lethal simplicity. So, he always says, I want it to look simple, but be complicated. And when he says look simple, don't think, oh, easy to learn offense or dumb routes and just be athletes and be amazing. What he means is when they line up and all of that, and it looks like to the naked eye, to the defense, they're like, oh, we're good. We got a basic coverage here for a very simple look. We're fine. And this is going to be just fine and dandy for us. It's going to be great. And then there's a motion. And they're like, wait, what's going on? Another motion. Something crazy going on. And then as the play develops and goes and breaks out, it's actually very complicated. They have no clue what's going on. So I like that. And I think it's going to be a good style for Miami. We'll see how it plays out. Why have Tate available with the rest of your quarterbacks and they all compete? Whoever wins the job is the best. Exactly, Darth Vader. That's what I think. Respect and get back in the game. Plans with your level high. And the new Miami wants some. Come get some. 2019 ACC champs. Donnie, I hope so, but Clemson is quite a hill to jump over. I really hope so, but Clemson, man, I want us to bring at least a very competitive football game for Clemson. So why would he run for Miami for an easy position? It just rubbed me the wrong way. Anthony, I can agree with you where I felt the same way when I initially heard that he's transferring and he's interested in Miami. And that was when we still had Jalen on the table. And I said, if I had a choice, I would choose Jalen. Jalen's a proven guy, and he's a graduate transfer, and boom, we'll put him in. This is great. I love it. And he knows Enos, so it'll be easy system and all of that. It would have been probably a better fit immediately. We'll see. And Martell is like, yeah, he's running away from Jaron Williams. But you don't know what was said to him and all that. Like, why would you pull this guy in from after you've been training this guy for years on your system? It may have rubbed him wrong. I'm not sure what's up with that in Ohio State, what pushed him. So it may not be that he's running off from competition, because you got to look. I mean, look at QB1, just a Netflix show that goes after him. When he played at Bishop Gorman, this is a very rich, nice football program for high school. They fly to every single most competitive team and play them. And he won all those games. He had the it factor in him. He just won them. He may not be that amazing, but regardless, him being active will make the quarterback room work that much harder and be more and even more competitive and will bring out the best out of everyone. The spread offense is the best for Miami speed. We can compete against Clemson with an offense not without. So it won't be a spread offense, though, Kelvin. I will tell you that. Maybe they'll switch it up. Like, Enos, he's a guy that's completely open to that kind of stuff. He's not, stubborn. He's going to see what works. But it's going to look like your basic offense, like when they line up. They're not going to be lined up spread, but there'll be motions and movements that'll be really amazing. Something that you'll see a lot, and he did before, is his using of the tight ends. Okay, so why didn't he win the starting job at Ohio? Okay, I got a whole bunch of stuff lying over here. So why didn't he win the starting job at Ohio? He's so good in high school. He didn't stay there, and I think he didn't stay there because of the coaching change. That also rubbed him wrong, just in how Ryan Day, handled him. I'm not sure what's up with that. Tate already waited to play 2 years. He only has 3 years left. Justin Fields is his third highest rated quarterback. Has more talent than Tate. Even if Tate won the job at some point, Justin Fields would have won. Yeah, that's a factor for sure. I mean, just look at the body build of them. Tate Martell's shorter, okay? He's not as impressive as Jaron when you just look at him at a naked eye, That's a point. That's a factor. Man, I'm bringing up player accountability. Way too much relying on coaches. Wrong players, but we need to savage. Yeah, you guys do need to execute. Christopher Wright, you're 100% correct. You really are. Can't wait to see the spread though, guys. I'm not gonna stop telling y'all it ain't gonna be a spread that we keep talking about. It's not gonna be a spread. Just look up. Basically, Arkansas's offense is how it's gonna look, and then it'll run. And said they'll have a bunch of different packages for offense, and we'll make come out and eye formation and go spread on the next down. Yeah, that's correct. That's a better statement of it, Edgar. It's definitely, but he was behind Askins, which was a Heisman finalist, and is being drafted as a junior. Yeah, definitely. Darth Vader has a very good point. I mean, he didn't lose to just a nobody or just some pathetic, of not a 50% completion kind of guy. For sure. Everyone keeps bringing Enos' offensive style, so I'm gonna bring up just what it looks like. I want to give you guys examples so you know what we're talking about. So I'm going to try to find y'all, hopefully non-copyrighted, video of Dan Enos' system, what you guys can expect, so what it can look like. Because everyone's talking about spread and all this. That's not exactly what it'll be. It'll be a mix. They'll have some stuff like that. But don't be misled by thinking it's going to be something that it's not. It's not going to be spread. I'm trying to find it. I'm sorry, guys, for that. I'm ignoring the chat for a couple seconds, but it'll be okay. So, I guess I can't find a non-copyrighted one. Oh, well, they're not going to like me, but it's fine. What will I do for my channel? It's fine. It's all good. Alright, so, let me find a good play, a good game where it showed him. So, we can do a 2016 game, I think, is a pretty good example one. Let me see if I could find some play. Okay. So, yeah, this should work. This should be pretty good. Here's an example, okay, guys? So, look at this formation. Does this look crazy to y'all? Does this look like it's something that you've never seen before? It doesn't. It's not crazy, okay? In fact, it really looks exactly like Alabama's offense that you saw during the year. He was an offensive coordinator, but it shouldn't look crazy different, okay? Let's be clear on that, all right? It looks like Alabama, but then when you watch the play go and develop, it's something that works for the team. Boom, first down. A nice move. A nice play. It's something that just gives credit. Like, look at this right here. Does that look spread to y'all? That's not spread, but this is, different. This isn't exactly what you expect from Rick. When you never lose a game and win 2 natties, you will be hyped. Doesn't matter right now. All players need to learn their positions and win. Yeah, your guys are making very good points, but never started in college, though. Also facts. So, look at this. Everyone's thinking run, but it actually was a pass. Now, I don't know what the heck happened there. Something, yeah, that was a wonky play. Here they go, trying it again, and actually is a run, and it just gets obliterated. It's not spread, okay? It's not spread. It's nothing crazy and fancy. Now, this right here, look at that bunch set he's got going on there. Boom. Utilize this player. You got to make those catches, buddy. You got to make those catches. Pass interference. Goodness, this, couple of downs is taking forever. They still did. They scored a field goal. Good gosh. Texas A&M though was given their best game this year. What year was this game? I believe this is from 2016, maybe 2015. Yeah, y'all are asking. Let me check what year this is. In the description they say 2016 is what they're saying. That's what it says in the description, 2016. Let me double check though. Were they ranked that high? Is that what they were? Because 17th ranked Arkansas. I mean, it was the beginning of the game, 3-0. Is that 2016 season? All right. Yeah, well, it says 2016, so I'm going to trust it. Here we go. Let's just continue watching it. Hope Manny can back up. Yeah, he needs to back it up, and that's kind of what we've been hearing. But most people like it regardless if he backs up or not. It's the first 3 games. I'm pretty sure they lost and they got destroyed and continued. But look at this play right here. And look at the athleticism of the guy. Keep him pushing, you know. Definitely shout out to the wide receivers coach, whoever was it then. But this is a kind of style where it's nothing crazy, but there's motions and stuff. And boom, look at that. Beautiful run. Nice stuff. And against A&M team that was pretty decent on defense. They sometimes played smash mouth SEC football. But again, guys, there's no spread. Nothing is spread here. All right, and the players are making some not great plays. I'm gonna be straight with y'all. There's good. The play is nice. That's drawn up. The players aren't finishing them. Then he finally finishes and catches it. Something that gets you excited though is if you look up stats of the offenses that Enos led and what he did with the tight ends and the fact of him using different sets where we had 2 to 3 tight ends, it pumped me up, honestly, because we have a Brevin Jordan and we have a Will Mallory and we even have a Michael Irvin too. It's great. Has a simple motion and getting defense to show their first hand. It usually does. So let me see if I could find him a different game. I'm trying to remember. I think it was against Mississippi State where it seemed a lot what he's talking about, but it may not be. In fact, I found a video against Alabama. Let me see if this is the one that I was talking about. There's no way it was against Bama. Goodness, they had flags all over the field. Arkansas. Goodness sakes. I mean, I'm just like going through this video real quick to see if it's good. If this one I was looking for, I don't think it is. But there's like 3, 4 flags. Bro, even this year isn't going to look at Saban's first year at Bama. Look at the first years for Sweeney at Clemson. It could take 2 seasons. He wants to win now. You know, that's a very good point, Darth Vader, that you mentioned. And I like the fact that he wants to win now and he's not giving any excuses to the U and saying, we're playing this second right now. Bam, we're getting into it. But can he do that? Can he go up to the hype? Can he actually do that? You know? You know what's scary? We have a championship defense. We only did 10 plays last year, and we still won 7 games. Imagine adding players, and we're still going to be serious. I like that point. In fact, here's the conversation that Enos had for Miami and what the system will look like. But it's because it seems we have a little bit of a confusion of what he expects for Miami to do. So here you go. Let me see if y'all guys should be able to hear all that.
It's a relief because we can actually start to coach football again and be around our players here. I think that's obviously the biggest priority right now is getting to know our players here and installing what we're going to do and getting our coaches all on board and on the same page and getting this information to our players. A lot of things that we did at Alabama that were, we would get into 12 personnel and run the ball and we'd be in 11 and throw the ball. We were very multiple and very diversified as far as the things that we did. So absolutely, I think I've always been a guy that's been like, don't label yourself. Like, if it can help us win, let's do it. Like, I don't want to be like, well, we don't do 2-back, or we only do 1-back, or we don't do 1-back, or we don't, you know what I mean? It's like, you have to constantly be evolving as a coach in order to help your team get better. And you can't be stubborn to say, this is what I am. And I've never been a guy that's done that. I've always been a guy that's, if it can help us win and help us get better offensively, let's do it. So certainly we're going to blend and mesh.
See, do y'all hear that? That's huge. I really like that when I hear that from him. That's insane to me that he goes and says, "Hey, we're not going to be, and this is it that we are. We're going to change around as we need to be." Our defense has been championship level 2 years. If we have an average offense, we'll win. We was 4th in total defense last year and 10th, 104th. Oh my goodness, yeah, that's facts, man, facts. It's awful. it does matter how many plays we have. It will be easier to read. Now, here's some thought that I want to give to y'all. The defense, as good as it was, could have done better if they weren't so darn worn out. I mean, you have to play most of a darn game for your whole team because your offense can't stay on the field. I mean, it was really tough. These guys really had a tough year last year, and they could have played even better if they were fresh. And it's the ability of having such depth and Manny Diaz being genius and rotating these guys in and out that was great. Do I think the defensive tackle will take a step back? I'm going to say yes, but don't take that statement misguidedly because I think he'll still be good, if not great. But last year, defensive tackle Gerald Willis was just monstrous. And I don't know, and I can't say with confidence with the guys that we have a monster like him, you know? Ezekiel, we need players that can execute. I have a million plays you can't execute. It means nothing to me. Christopher, I understand what you're saying, and that's completely correct. But Rick said the same stuff. We couldn't execute. Executing is important, but if you have a correct playbook where there's a couple of motions before the game, before the snap, there's a certain kind of formation that's going on. Other stuff that the players are doing that puts you in a better position, and then choosing run, pass, run. I mean, it's just there's definitely a point to it that's other than execution. But yeah, if you execute, you'll win for sure. But executing means, hey, I did this play, but isn't that I just did this play? I actually got yardage from it, okay? And you can't get yardage from a play that the defensive coverage is already prepared for, okay? And you know what they're going to do, and it's predictable. The play can be as executed as best of the player's knowledge, but they won't be able to do what they want to do because there's no freaking gap because, yeah, the offensive line sucks, but the defense formation knew that you're going to run the ball. I mean, this is just how it works. Damn, I come live from my bedroom. Yeah, man, it's a tiny situation of my household, man. I am a full-time college student, a full-time worker. I ain't got money for a big old house. It's just a little apartment that I live in. I got a bedroom, and I got a setup here for live streaming. It works, man. That's where it works, man. Play 85% of the game is still the first defense. Yeah, exactly. Jeremiah Dawson says Perry. Dude, my thing with Perry is I hope he does his best. I hope he wins, and we're all happy about him. But you think that he didn't have an opportunity? He did. He had his opportunity. He wasn't trained up as best as he could be. John Rick did nothing except for some gassers and crap to these QBs. He had really good talent on the wide receiver core group. I know the offensive didn't help him too much, but yeah, Bama has motion, exactly. Look, Bama had they were able to execute. You're right, Christopher, right? But the thing is, they were able to execute because the right play was called. The defense was read. They knew what the defense was going to be thinking and doing. Think about this. How they won a whole national championship versus Georgia. And they had to swap a quarterback during the game. The guy, Jalen Hurts, was there the whole darn season. They threw in another guy out of nowhere. That's a bold move, and that's huge. But they knew that they could play this motion and do this play that what Jalen brought, what he was doing, the defense was ready for. And they put defense on their heels, and then they ran a play, busted coverage, boom, touchdown, game over. They knew that they had a chance and a spot to do that, and if they did that, watch Cade Williams hold the job. It'd be interesting. I love Perry, but I feel he blushes. Yeah, man, yeah. Wiggins did drop a lot of passes. He needs to work on that. Perry looked bad, but he's not out of it. I want Williams, but I want the best guy that earned it and showed on the field. Exactly, man. That's why I really want Martell to get his waiver, because that doesn't guarantee that he starts, but it guarantees that he's going to give you 100% of this best ball that he could ever show y'all, you know? And that's what I want to see, because if there's a quarterback that beats out Tate Martell, N'Kosi Perry, and Jaron Williams, be it Peyton Matocha or Cade Weldon, that's impressive. That's enough for your resume to be starting, you know, if you can beat them out. D-Dropper is gone, Cager. Yeah. Our wide receivers were pretty highly touted, and so the coach was too, and we, fired him. They did great in pass blocking, but they couldn't use their hands for anything else. It seemed like they were dropping way too many balls. They had decent routes, and they were fast and athletic guys, but they kept on dropping passes, and I did not like that. I did not like that at all. Too many drop passes. Coach had no faith in Perry, and that killed his confidence. It did, Wesley. You're correct. And a quarterback's supposed to be a leader. When you get pulled out of a game, it kills your confidence. It does. And, in fact, the scenario is put where, hey, if in the Virginia game Perry was let to play it through and would have stayed the whole season, we would not have been 7-6, and maybe Rick would still be head coach. So, take that as you will, but you're correct. You're correct. It was definitely mismanaged and unbalanced. It was very, very unbalanced. So I'm gonna finish this video that we threw up here because I think it's kind of interesting. You guys kind of hear what he's talking about.
The things together, take the things that we think is best, help and gives our players a chance for success. But then I think the big thing is we gotta find out who our guys are, what they do well. You know, who are the receivers we need to get the ball to, what backs are, the tight ends, you know what I mean? And then kind of figure it out, because I think every year it's a little different based on your personnel that you have. And but we're going to certainly take some of those things that we did very, very well at Alabama, take some of the things that Coach Berry did with the Buccaneers and Coach Hickson did at K-State, you know, things I did at Arkansas, and blend it all and try to come up with the best offense that we can. I think it's huge. You know, one of our big goals is we want to look complex and remain simple. That's one of our base principles of our offensive philosophy. And in order to accomplish that, you have to be able to give different presentations and do sometimes the same things, you know, and then having players that are versatile, as the guys you mentioned, is really, really important. I mean, in 2015 in Arkansas, we had the two tight ends, Hunter Henry and Jeremy Sprinkle. Those guys were, I think, almost 60% of our snaps. We were in 12 personnel, but we were so multiple. Yeah. We were in 4 wide, we were in empty, we were in the I formation with the same people on the field. So as you broke the huddle, a defense in that personnel grouping really didn't know what you were going to do, other than the fact that you did a lot of different things out of it. You know, the one thing we told them, we're going to have 3 pillars.
So do y'all hear that? What he's talking about in the formation, all that? You know what I'm saying? You know, good discussion, but this is where I disagree. If you aren't accurate, the coach won't give you a lot of plays. If blocks are missed, the balls get dropped. What is more plays going to do? Christopher, you know, it's not so much more plays. It's the type of plays that were written up in the first place. If the ball was dropped, did he even have room to catch it? Do I think Martell will be cleared? I'm lost at this point, Virgie. Here's what's going to have to happen for him to be cleared, all right? The NCAA is going to have to go back on how they've been feeling. Because, I mean, I did the whole video and discussed and analyzed. What they talked about is basically our excuse for saying no to Tate Martell, be ready. That's how I read it, and there's no other way. And I feel like they needs to change. And the reason they would let him is because they're scared of the backlash. The complete destruction that it should do to the whole college football community of, like, how dare y'all? This is ridiculous, you know? That's insane, you know? Noodle Arm Rozier didn't help the wide receiver position. I wish Richards could still play. Oh, man. Prayers for him on, man. I wish he could for sure. We will adapt to what our players can do. Tate want to get cleared because that will open up the floodgate. You know, I agree with you. Country boy, you're hitting it exactly on the spot where it'll be NCAA officially saying we're changing it, free run for the players. And we're not going to screw Miami over yet again. That's not normal. That's not usual. And there's a lot that has to happen for them to change their mindset and him to get cleared. That's my opinion and how I feel about it. If I had to put money on it, I'd say no, he's not getting it. Maybe they'll shock us, but it'll be a complete 100% detour for where they've been going and what they've been saying. But Justin Fields was cleared. He was. Veda, exactly, he was, but Fields was cleared, and they're going to say, they put in their excuses of, oh, well, it was confidential information. He had a hostile environment, whatever. Tate didn't. You know, Tate might possibly not be cleared, but then he's a grad student, still can play for only a year. I know Rick as his son didn't help the quarterbacks, but I lost faith in Steve Perry. Yeah, I haven't seen enough of Williams or Tate. You know, Tony, I've heard for some reason from report that some people aren't impressed with Williams in practice. But then it doesn't make sense because Rick was always saying how he was throwing dimes just perfect. He just needs to learn the system. That's why I'm kind of on the Williams van. It's the you versus the world. Exactly, Difficult Moss. Exactly, man. Hey, y'all, the phone line's open. Y'all can call in if y'all want to talk on the show and give your thoughts and talk about whatever you want, Canes, and just college football world. But, you know, that's exactly right. Us against the world. that has to pivot and change. Maybe it will, but it'd be surprising, and it's disappointing. And as it stands today, and how, like I said, and what they've been saying, if Martell gets cleared, which I hope he does, he'll win this job because he prepares like a real quarterback. Doesn't wait for the quarterback coach to wipe his booty. He does prepare a lot, and he knows how to prepare, and he knows how to win, and he knows how to lead and push his guys. I hear Tate is such a leader, and I feel that that's what we need. Perry's definitely not a leader. Exactly what I'm talking about. The leader part of it, the leader mentality. The one pass Williams threw on 23 was dead accurate, but it came against Bethune-Cookman. That's exactly right. Williams is very accurate, but he's more of the pocket passer, even though he's dual threat. Comparatively speaking to the other quarterbacks, he's not the most impressive runner. He still can run, don't get me wrong. Second Martell moved in, he started practicing with Osborne. State say Tate is a brat. He is, dude. He really is. I mean, he's a jerk and all that, but I have really good friends that were Ohio State fans, unfortunately, and when they saw the news, they all went up to me. They're like, dude, y'all got yourselves a player. Martell is the man. And look, we can talk about Williams' accuracy all day, but Martell went 10 for 10 in a college football game. Now, it was against the 1-11 Rutgers, but still, 10 out of 10. That's pretty amazing. Bill said he wasn't leaving because of racial slur. His family was worried about racism. Why his sister picked UGA to play softball for? Look, Vader, you're right. He didn't leave because of racism, but the argument, what was his argument that he was able to get the waiver signed? The legal argument that he said. He obviously didn't feel that way. He has much respect for UGA, and his whole family is all behind it. I mean, look, someone's going to throw a racial slur in a comment somewhere. The administration had nothing to do with that, and they took the correct steps to say, no, this is wrong, and kicking the guy off and having nothing to do with him, But we all know Fields used a loophole, but it worked for him to lose. He used the loophole. He said hostile environment. There's nothing else to it. There really is nothing else to it. Finn High School put State of Nevada on Texas after they won. He claimed Texas. He did. I mean, they went to Texas. They destroyed them. Then they went to, they played the best in Cali. They beat them. They played St. Thomas Aquinas, and it was a pretty amazing game. Beat them in overtime. It would have probably been overtime had he done the job at the first spot. But, he has this it factor. He has this leadership mentality and a way to corral his teammates. Now, something that's interesting to me is how does he respond to a loss? That's very important for a quarterback. How do you respond to adversity and to issues, not just during the game, but after the game? If there's adversity after the game, can you keep your team going 100%? Because, look, there can be a one-loss team in the playoff picture, even a two-loss team. We've seen it done, we've seen it happen, and then winning it all away. You have to keep persevering and pushing. And I'm not talking about just 2019 year. I'm talking about 2020. You don't want to be switching quarterbacks every single year, You're right. Being good in high school doesn't mean anything. It really doesn't. Zocha has a shot. No, he doesn't at all. He's a development player. He has no shot at all. I don't see. Look, y'all can talk whatever you want, but no shot at all. No, none. He's a developmental player, a 3-star. Not that the stars matter, but he's a developmental player. You just see how he plays and all that, and throw up the other guys. There's no way in heck, unless literally quite a miracle happens, that all the other quarterbacks get. Hopefully never ever, but injuries, crab, no waivers, etc., and he's the only quarterback that we have. Basically, an FSU quarterback roster disaster for him to be starting. Okay, that's where it's at. FSU wants him to start and be over there, but he's way down depth. He's developmental player. Being good in high school is relative. Who you're good against, if you're beating other elite kids, it does. That's a good point, though. He wasn't at our average high school. Matocha won't be enrolled until May. Yeah. If the offense can block, we have a good offensive scheme. I don't care who the quarterback is. I think our defense will keep us in the game. It's good that University of Miami recruits outside of South Florida. True. There are South Floridians like myself that experienced South Florida high school. Yeah, exactly. Very, very true. And here's something that I want to mention that someone else was talking about in the chat. And y'all are throwing it up, and I appreciate it. I'm going to try to read them all. But he didn't play regular high school ball. He played the most elitist of teams. Okay, it's different when you play. Even we can take, local guy that I know, Trevor Lawrence, amazing guy, and he was great. And yeah, he ripped through all the records of Deshaun Watson and Fromm and all of them in Georgia. But he played at Cartersville, and Cartersville doesn't exactly play all the top name league teams and travel the heck everywhere, unless I'm mistaken and didn't check their schedule. But it's still good teams and good difficulty, but it's not the same as Bishop Gorman. Okay. Osborne's going to be very interesting to see at wide receiver for sure, y'all. For sure, y'all. Let me see all the chats that I missed. He won't roll until May. He won't even be there for spring practice. Wow. Okay, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, if he really wanted to compete now, he'd be there enrolled right now, and that's a very good point right there. Oh yeah, I think definitely the transfer receivers might get first string wide receiver for sure. Do I think Jeff Thomas will reclaim it after coming back? Okay, I don't think Jeff Thomas got anything to reclaim. The way that he's been talked about, and the way that we know of the player he has, like a shot of adrenaline to the offense, he's going to be there. I mean, as much as he can be. No question about it. He's going to be there. There's nothing to reclaim for him. It's a spot. I know that they're showing blank slate, but sorry, y'all. Jeff Thomas, he's starting. There's no question about it. Osborne for sure. What's up, Anthony? How you doing, brother? No question about it. And then the other couple of guys that we got at wide receivers, we have a lot of talent. I'm trying to think if there's another transfer wide receiver. Not to my knowledge that Jeff Thomas will start. No questions. Exactly. Yeah. There's no questions at all. What I'm hearing is seeing if Martell gets cleared this year, he will be the front runner because under Rick there is no structure at quarterback position. Thomas start. Yeah, no question. Thomas starts. Osborne will be there, and he's going to be good for sure. And I think he will probably start, or if not, he's going to show these guys how to put work in. But what I've heard and everything, and how the work he's been putting in, how he has been, I can't say practicing because technically it's not spring ball yet. But the way he's been training, I see him as a starter for sure. Who that leaves the other, two-ish spots or on the rotation for, I'm not sure. We have avoiding Cage as in the height part. We'll be throwing in some tall guy. Maybe not. Maybe we'll just utilize our tight ends. We'll see. Martell will not be cleared. ACC is not open up. Man. What about Hightower? Man, Hightower or Pope, I want to see one of those guys starts. I really do. They've had their time. They've been given. They've been learning the scheme, and they've been practicing. I want to see those guys just pop and go crazy. Hightower and Pope would be amazing. What about what's up with Evan Njoku? Njoku's all right, but I think he's the tallest of all those guys. He's not crazy tall, but something like 6'4", 6'3", whereas the other guys are like 6'1"-ish, 6'2". But he hasn't made any big news, Tony Kidd, to mention that. I mean, he could still play, but I haven't heard any giant news about him. I see Pope over him and Hightower starting, in my opinion. Don't get me wrong, Hightower's a great guy. We'll see. How about Peyton? Are you talking about the quarterback Peyton? We talked about it. He's not even enrolling in till Vader mentioned he's not enrolling till later. He won't be there for practice and all that. He's not in the competition. He's a developmental player. There's no question about it. Yeah, that's what's up, Peyton. I don't know if there's another first name Peyton that are on their team, not to my knowledge. Sorry guys, I gotta take this. Manny will also take the risk of recruiting 1 to 3 star players because they want to play and prove themselves to the rest of the college football programs. They didn't give him a chance. So we'll see about that for sure. He wants the top talent, and he's going after with the guys, but he's looking for the guys that fit the Miami program for sure. This is my point. Taney's close to his ceiling because he has been coached his whole life by the best. Exactly. Powerful. And Williams hasn't had any good coaching ever, and so he may get a lot better. A very good point. Williams might have a giant ceiling and just jump over that for sure. Wide receiver Peyton. Jeremiah Peyton. Daggum. Jeremiah Peyton. Oh my goodness. I was thinking first name for some reason. Yeah. The 4-star. Oh man, he's really good. I don't see him as a starter in my opinion. I see that Pope, Hightower, and all the other Osborne and Thomas being there, but I think he'll be on the rotation. Like, he'll get some chances and reps. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he beats these guys out, but I've been really impressed by those guys and what they've been doing, the work they've been putting in at the college football level. He's going to be a guy that passes up Njoku. He's definitely quite a standout star and athlete. He's done very, very well. I don't say he starts, in my opinion. This is just my opinion. I have no other factual evidence, really. I don't say he starts this year. He may be in the rotation, but look forward to him in 2020 for sure. Do keep that in mind. That's my view on him. My goodness, couldn't forget. I was thinking first name Peyton. I was like, Peyton Tocha. That's all I remember. Yeah. Jeremiah Peyton. Goodness. Anton, what you doing? Wiggins has a shot if he works on his hands. Yeah, Wiggins too. I mean, Wiggins is a guy that was basically a starter, but he I think Cameron Davis starts running back this year. All right, running backs. I want to bring that up. There's a lot to talk about there for sure. Bowman may take a starting job other than him. It isn't business. You know, and that's what I'm wondering about Wiggins. I'm curious because Wiggins was doing pretty well. Wiggins looked really, really, really nice. I'm trying to remember other guys. I feel like I'm forgetting. I mean, the wide receiver core is just so stacked. There's so many players, so many guys there. But I do think Osborne is going to beat one of those guys out in there. But think of this, okay? Jeff Thomas, we know, is a starter. And, yeah, we fill him in as a slot for sure. But he runs a couple of 40-yarders 2 or 3, 4 times. He's gassed. You throw in another guy, you know? You're throwing in another guy to replace him. Who's going to be that guy? Who's filling in for Jeff Thomas when he's out there breathing? Hopefully, if your offense and your play calling and all that is as it should be and very aggressive and attacking, he's running routes and he's utilized. We also have Michael Irvin II. All right, he's a tight end, though. Don't get that confused. He's a tight end. So Michael Irvin II is tight end, but I see him being, honestly, third string because we got Brevin Jordan, which he's a starter, no question. And Will Mallory, he was basically second string. Now, it was due to Irvin's injuries and such, but now keep in mind, we're going to run some sets and bunches that I think with Enos' system, it's going to have 3 tight ends in them. I really see that happening. Especially in, like, goal line situations and such. Expect some of that. Okay? So, Michael Irvin will be very gladly welcomed back. And we had another tight end recruit that we picked up this year, too. Watch out for him. We'll see. And there was a walk-on, too. So, there's actually listed 2 walk-ons. We had 1 walk-on that's there since last year, and then another walk-on that's coming in this year for tight end core group. So, hopefully we're pretty stacked there with the injuries because, I mean, they thought we didn't need any tight ends for this year recruiting cycle, and then all these injuries happened and all that, and they said, yeah, we need to pick up some guys, you know. I know, Bella, I know you want attention, you want to play. She's a cute little puppy, yeah. She wants to talk, yeah? You want to tell us your input? Who do you think is starting? Are you going to be starting? Y'all, they need a... They need to get a little puppy out there running with these wide receivers. Bella can run so stinking fast. She's going to make any wide receiver freaking like a beast of a monster. Jeff Thomas level, you know? Y'all know that Jeff Thomas is like literally one of the fastest players in college football. I found out at a time, but it was a kind of an old, outdated time when he was a recruit for his 40-yard dash. I mean, he ran a 4.38, I think it was, for a 40-yard dash. The fastest guy that is in college football with, 40-yard dash time, I think is a 4.2829, then if I'm not mistaken. So, like, a difference of 10 milliseconds. 10 milliseconds. Like, there's only 2 or 3 other guys, or maybe 4 there in between. Like, they're at 4.32, 4.36, and such. And a 40-yard dash, I mean, that's telling, but like 10 milliseconds. This Jeff Thomas is one of the fastest guys in college football, y'all. Just a complete, stud, y'all. Just a stud. So it's going to be fun seeing him. But he's going to be running out there and being gassed, and if they use him correctly in the system is what I think. Now, the running back core group that someone mentioned, I don't think we'll have a new starter. I think DJ Alice has been just phenomenal in putting better work in. He's really learned the spot. He's going to be a starter. But I do have a feeling that Cam may get more chances with the ball, even though he won't be a starter. I'm interested to see what happens there, for sure. For sure. Throw up my number in the chat. Yeah, I got you, man. I got you. Sorry, I've been dizzy talking, man. Dizzy talking. I'm gonna keep this going for about 20 more minutes. So I'm gonna keep whatever calls we do get pretty short, like about 5 minutes each. See if we get 4 or 5 in. But there you go. That's the number in the chat. They continue to make Broward County shirts because there are a lot of players from Broward County, Florida, which is right above Miami-Dade. I mean, I see what you're saying, but I like to see Lingard and Cam get more carries. Tony, I do too. It's nothing against DJ Dallas, nothing against him. He's great and all. But again, Homer's gone, so I think Dallas gets next into the spot. But behind them, the 1-2 punch, they're going to be incredible. What's up with Lingard? I don't know what's going on here. Maybe the running backs coach was not utilizing as best he could. Honestly, I think Rick's system was just like he liked how Homer ran and how he was. So maybe that's the deal there. We'll see. Hey, I'm going to assume it's Anthony. How you doing, brother?
How you doing? I have a question, actually. This is a specific position.
Yeah.
This is offensive tackle and stuff like that.
Yeah.
For who do you think, in your opinion, who do you think is going to Donaldson is more of a guard, honestly. He would stay at guard. Then we have Skate. Skate, he's a guard as well. So that's our two guards. Who do you think are going to be our right tackle, left tackle, and our center?
I got you. So you're asking about one. Let me pull up the whole list of guys that we have, and I'm going to go down it and throw up who I think is going to be there. Now, one thing I'm going to put in perspective, though, here, I think we're going to get at least hopefully one transfer. Now, Braun is out of the question. He's not coming to the U, is what I've been hearing. He likes SEC schools, and he's probably going to go there. But there's still a couple other guys from, I believe, Auburn, and there's another guy that was there that's transferring. So, I'm going to say one spot for a transfer. The other guys, I feel like Donaldson will be there. I would say Donaldson would be the starter. There's a whole bunch of guys that I have question marks about. I'm not sure. Like, I hear good stuff about them, but if they didn't start and the other guys were starting, and as bad as it was, what's going on? Now, Tommy Kennedy is also going to be starting, right? So we got Tommy Kennedy at offensive line. George Brown was not getting the job done, in my opinion, and they tried to rotate him out and such. I don't see him starting.
I think George Brown, honestly, he would be one of those guys that would be better moving in to like center or guard and stuff like that. He doesn't seem like he has longer arms.
Yeah, that you definitely have a point there, man. For sure. I'm not really high on him. I'm curious what's up with, DJ, and then there was I'm trying to think. There's another guy that was.
Oh, I forgot about Gaynor. Corey Gaynor.
Yeah, Gaynor's going to be there. I expect Gaynor to be there. I'm curious to see what happens with the biggest guy, though, to me. I heard good stuff about Reed, and then he got injured or something, kind of cammed up. But I don't. I'm curious.
Do you see Kennedy as a guard or a tackle? Do you see Kenny more? Do you see Kenny staying at tackle, or do you think they're going to move him in?
Who exactly at tackle or moved in?
Tommy Kennedy.
Oh, Tommy Kennedy. I think they'll stick with where he's been at. I hope they don't rotate him out. I want them to stay with what he played. He did that position well, and he knows what he was doing. I wouldn't want him to move around.
Was he a tackle or a guard?
Kennedy. Here, I'll pull him up. Where he played for the Butler transfer. I thought he was a guard, but I want to double check. I don't want to be wrong. I thought he was a guard. Maybe I'm wrong. Offensive tackle. I was wrong. He's an offensive tackle. Kennedy is an offensive tackle that played for Butler. Now, he looks good when he played for Butler, but that was a different kind of competition. So, but I'm still excited about him. I think he starts. I really do. He's a big old dude.
These are my my 4 stars so far. The right tackle scares me a little bit. Kennedy, Donaldson, Gaynor, and Scaife, I think, would be better as a guard than the tackle, to be honest, because his arms are not long enough. Because we need to remember, we're setting these kids up to go into the NFL, and I was reading a scouting report on both Scaife and Donaldson from an NFL GM and scout. They say that they'll be all-pro guards and stuff, not tackles, because their arms are not long enough. They're big and strong enough, but arms are not long enough to...
Right, yeah, and I agree with you, and I feel like a Donaldson, Kennedy, Gaynor, and fill in the spot with, 2 other guys, question mark, and I hope one of those would be a transfer guy that we pull in, would basically be what we're looking at. We'll see. It'll be interesting. What do you think about? I'm curious because you called in about Manny Diaz and his big old hype talk, and acting like, look, it's us and basically F everyone else. And then let's say we lose to the Gators or something bad, tragic happens. Did he go out of place and talk too much in your opinion, or you like that vibe? What do you think?
Honestly, this is high praise, but he reminds me of a younger version of Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy Johnson was the exact same way in the 80s and 90s and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I hear a lot of people talking about, this is basically Jimmy Johnson. I like him. He's got to prove it. And regardless,
but
I
what
think...
scares me is you're comparing to Jimmy Johnson. You expect him to win. With that comparison, people are expecting him to win a national champion his first year and stuff like that. So
I won't go as far as say natty first year, but I think even if he loses, he's not going to lose in a way that it's our tails between our legs and we run away. It'll be a close and a tight one. He's going to bring the best out of his players and be like, this is unacceptable. We're keeping this game close as we can. We're not losing it.
Oh, did you see when him and his coaches showed up at the coaches clinic at Florida State had?
Hey, I think it's breaking up, Anthony. What did you say?
Oh, sorry. I'm in it. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Did you hear about Manny and his coaching staff showing up at a coaching clinic that Willie Taggart?
Yeah. That's kind of what I've been referring to and talking about. Where the Nike facility, and did a whole video on it where it was a Nike little like clinic talk for coaches, high school coaches to come in, and FSU had a whole thing. And Manny came in and said, "Let's rent out a suite. I don't care if we're not Nike, we're Adidas crew. Let's just get out this suite here. Yeah, let's have a little party and let's just freaking invite guys and give out beers and stuff." And all the high school coaches didn't even go there. And he said, "Hey, that's the mentality we want. It's that's what we're bringing."
Did the coaches go?
I'm sorry, what?
Did the coaches go? Hello?
Yeah.
Did any of the coaches go to the?
Yeah, some went, but what I was hearing is majority or a good impactful amount didn't. And his response really was like, "This is what we're trying to bring back to the U, the FU type of swagger." That's what they're doing.
that honestly, Taggart is a used car salesman, to be honest. Where he can. I don't know how he was able to get that offensive guard from. I can't remember the recruit I'm talking about, the offensive guard that ended up signing with Florida State, the offensive lineman that we were going against them.
Oh yeah. It was his dream school, and so he went to FSU. I remember what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, I understand he's from like St. Augustine or something. I can't remember.
Yeah.
And that's close to Tallahassee. I understand that, but
he was around the Pensacola area, I think, wasn't it? Something like that. Yeah, and Tallahassee's pretty close. Yeah, and it was his dream school is what that was, really. Which I think he grew up around it.
Well, what do you expect? Florida State's not going to be good the next few years, to be honest.
Oh, man. They're just FSU, guys, they have no quarterback at all. The whole team is just drained. There's no energy. I'm not understanding how they're able to bring in guys in general. I understand there's a big, trademark and it's a big program, but Taggart doesn't know what the heck he's doing. I don't see him doing well. I don't at all. I mean, there's just no way.
I think Taggart's not going to last even a year, to be honest.
You think they can fire him before the end of the year? What do you guys think? I want to throw in the chat. It's a good question. Does Taggart last through the whole year? I realize that he's been not given that long of a time, but it's been going so daggone bad. I mean, with like turnover backpacks and stuff. I mean, it's just an embarrassment.
That was the worst thing I ever seen.
It's an embarrassment. I mean, give him a purse if he got a turnover, whatever. I mean, it has nothing to do with even the Florida State stuff. Like, even from a creator standpoint, with a backpack, get a spear or something. Be creative, dude. That was, oh my goodness.
Turnover tomahawk.
Yeah, just some, man. He gives him a Dora backpack, and it just got embarrassing. And they didn't even do that many turnovers.
No, honestly, I understand why DeAndre left.
Yeah. I don't blame,
Where did he end up transferring to, do you know?
You talking about Francois?
Yeah, DeAndre Francois.
Dude, I don't think anyone's going to pick him up. He hasn't transferred anywhere. I don't think anyone's going to pick him up because he had the domestic violence or, abuse and stuff on his record, and that's just, no. I mean, that's just gone.
Yeah, and I think with FSU, they need to have, they need to find a younger coach who coach under Bowden or someone like that to try to bring back.
Bro, here's what I think. Hashtag keep Willie Taggart, man. FSU, keep Taggart for 5 years. Give him a decade. Sign another 20-year contract. Donnie says give him another 10 years. Yes, sir. That's what I'm saying, man. Keep him there. Let us stomp them, destroy them. I want Taggart to win enough games just to keep his job. I agree with you, Tony. I want Taggart there. I don't think he should survive, but I want him there for a decade. I mean, in that case, I mean, Miami's going to have every single kid out of Florida. I mean, maybe Damone will get something going. The Gators and their recruiting's decent. I got to give it to them. But, I mean, FSU will be out of the picture. UCF will out-recruit FSU at this point. I mean, heck, FIU might.
No. USF would eventually out-recruit.
I mean, yeah, heck, Lane Kiffin and his Florida A&M Owls or whatever would be picking up more guys than FSU if Taggart stays there for a decade. I hope he does. Keep Willie Taggart.
Yeah,
that's
honestly,
all I say.
The up-and-coming program that scares me a little bit in Florida is UCF, to be honest.
You know, they have that, and I feel like they lost Scott Frost, and which Frost didn't do that well. Then in where you go, Nebraska was it? And then they lost Milton, the QB.
Who replaced Frost?
I'm sorry.
They never replaced him.
I think they just picked up a guy from the inside. I don't remember, like, promoted their offensive coordinator. I'm not sure who it was. I really didn't keep up. But I feel like the whole core of that group was there was a really good team around Milton. And he had a very tragic injury. And they didn't do bad with the other quarterback. But I feel like once the senior teams leave of that group, of the undefeated season that they had, I don't know if they'll be the same. But I wish them all the best. I have nothing against them. I hope the NCAA treats them right and, ranks them a bit higher and gets them more competition and then prove themselves because they have every single time they've been given the opportunity.
No, that's what I'm saying. With UCF, they should go into the ACC or something like that.
There was talks of them joining a actual Power 5 conference. I'm trying to remember if it was the Big Ten or what have you, but they had...
Location-wise, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, but it was... It was one of them. It wasn't. I'm trying to remember who it was, but it wasn't ACC.
Maybe? SEC.
It was not SEC. I'm trying to remember which one of the ones
Big
with the
12.
Because there's the Big 12 and the Big 10, and I don't remember which two it was.
Yeah, Big 12. The Big 12 makes a lot more sense location-wise for them. It doesn't make sense for them to be in the. And the way they play would fit more in the Big 12.
Yeah, honestly. For sure. Baby Shaq says, FSU always recruits screw. They have the best defensive backs, linebackers, D-linemen, receivers, offensive line quarterback, and tight ends are the areas positions that suffer when FSU is down. So, I'm trying to read this chat and understand. So you're saying they just have the best defensive backs, but then after that, it's not that great. I mean, they have issues all over. Really, I mean, they do have, I got to hand it to you, they have good defensive backs. They usually getting good guys there, but other than that, their QB position, which is usually good and stout, I mean, you just go through the years what Jimbo did, and that's the thing that people don't keep in mind, is it was Jimbo's system and what Jimbo did, and A&M is going to be a freak show, I think. I think he's going to keep building, do something scary for the SEC. Hopefully Rex Alabama out of there. I'm okay with that.
I think his playing style, of Jimbo's playing style, fits more in the SEC, to be honest, with Texas A&M.
Yeah, he can recruit really well. It's a bigger program. It's giant money. Number one, I'm pretty sure they spend the most money, most profitable too. Difficult Moss says, thankful for Mark Richt retiring, all of us were, yeah. But he brought the program back into its winning ways. We beat FSU back-to-back and we blew out Notre Dame, who was ranked. He did do that. There's definitely credit there. And but the thing is, they barely beat them on a year. He shouldn't have barely beaten them. I'm glad that he did. He got an indoor facility. He definitely left Miami in a much better program than it's at. Honestly, he brought in Manny Diaz. He's the reason Diaz is at Miami now. So I'm glad for him. I have respect for him, and especially the way he stepped down. But again, my head scratcher when he was so daggum arrogant. Kyle Hobgood asking an interesting question. What do I think about a defensive coordinator? Anthony, how about you answer that one first, and I'll throw up my thoughts on it.
Yeah, honestly, he's running the same defense. So I liked them hiring him, but I rather him promoted Banda to the defensive coordinator, and then hire a defensive back coach, a new defensive back coach or something like that. Maybe like hire Patrick Surtain from American Heritage and stuff like that.
I agree with you. I'm okay with, but I think it was like I said before, kind of a future proofing thing that was gone around there. That way, when this guy, Baker, he's going to be exact same system. I like the hire. I'm okay with it. I understand the argument for having an inside guy promoted in, but I think there's a reason why that didn't happen. Maybe Manny Diaz was the head guy of the defense. I think he knows best, and if he thinks the guy's there, I think he'll be fine. I hope there's nothing to drop down. But there's so much point where Baker has said himself, he didn't say 100% that, hey, I'm going to be doing all the defensive plays. Most likely it will be, and Diaz will want that. But if stuff starts derailing or whatever, Diaz, I think, will step in and do defensive calls on the side of the ball, even as head coach. We'll see. It'll be kind of interesting.
Yeah, and I have a question, actually, when it comes to this is I'm not sure if you get this as a common question. Do you think eventually what's going to happen, do you think it makes sense to hire a former player as I was thinking of, like, maybe Blake James seems like he came from, like, an SEC school or something like that, right?
So which place are you trying to think of a player to hire up, though?
Maybe hire our athletic director, maybe hiring, like, Ed Reed
Gotcha. So, here's my thing. People always, there's just the hype, and there's always fans, and people enjoy known names. I'm not huge for that, for players being hired, unless if they're put into a system where they get to be built up, as we have some GAs now that were former players and such. It's interesting to me where what you're talking about, not so much directly under the football part. That's okay. That's fine with me. But I guess Ken Dorsey is the most proven guy. They got to be proven. I don't care what your name is in your history with the program. I want you to have a resume as a coach. Being a coach is different than a player. The greatest coaches of all times were not even ever football players.
Athletic director.
But as athletic director, I'd be interested in that. I'm okay. Tennessee did kind of a similar thing with a coach, though, previous coach. But I'm okay with that happening. It helps, the system, the program, the atmosphere, and the culture.
I think it would make sense for Ken Dorsey because he has more experience with being an athletic director. Is he the athletic director at UCF?
He could be. I don't know if he wants to switch what he's doing, where he loves, what he does on the offense and the quarterbacks part. I gotta catch up on.
No, he's not the quarterbacks coach. He's the athletic director for, I think, a college.
Well, I've always felt like Ken Dorsey, and what I've heard, I haven't listened too much on him recently, is that he's been more interested in just eventually doing more QB stuff in offense. We'll see. I mean, does he really want that, or does he enjoy just being on the athletic side of the ball? But hey, man, I'm going to try to get a couple other calls in. I'm going to be ending the live stream in a couple minutes. I appreciate you calling and giving your input, man. You have a great evening, man.
You too.
All right, bye. Let me catch up on a couple of these comments because I've been just distracted with the caller. Fine with the defensive coordinator. Abe says Manny is full-time head coach. When Manny busy, then he leaves minds to develop under Manny to be on the same page for institution. I like that. Yep, that's definitely. I'm in line with that. They always get good lines on the D line. That's fair. That's fair. FSU recruiting class is high because of all those defensive backs. Other than that, the class mediocre. Okay, that's a fact. They did overstack a certain position. FSU died when Jimbo left. Jimbo's like top 3 in recruiting, Sabo and Dabo. I mean, yeah, there's he's a good recruiter. He really is. No denying it. I think Ed Reed should be a safeties coach when he can work his way up the ladder. Yeah, I would like that. I don't know if Ed Reed wants to do that, but I would love that. That'd be pretty cool. Does the article that came out recently in the Herald about immaturity of the backup quarterbacks last year at the U helped us make more sense to why CMR stayed with the Razor so much? It did for me. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, immaturity was a thing, and that was something big for Rick and character and all of that. I'm sure it definitely played a role for sure. Definitely. Y'all, I'm gonna be trying to summarize this up in a couple 5 minutes. So throw up in the chat last couple of things you want to talk about. Maybe some kind of content that you want me to throw up in the upcoming videos. Been trying to keep you guys up to date with all the news, but it's a busy life, so sometimes not breaking news. I'm not ever going to be probably breaking news, but I definitely want to be most thorough and give you the guys most unbiased perspective on some of the news that's going on around here. What else that I want to mention tonight? Okay, Scott Cantor, he tipped $30, and I really wanted to shout him out. I appreciate that so much. Any tips, like, it just encourages me so much as a career. I mean, working full time, being a college student full time, and then trying to do some YouTube. I mean, it helps out a lot. I'm working on some projects to get on the wall covered now. We got some cool stuff on the floors. I want to cover up that wall, big old views and stuff, so we'll see what's going on there. What about Vince Wilfork as a defensive tackle coach? Oh, dude. Oh, man. I would be lovely, dude. I have nothing, again, guys, look, nothing against players being coaches. I want them, though, to go up the ladder like everyone else. I don't want them to just be thrown up there. Donnie, I enjoyed your channel. You're doing an amazing job and awesome analysis. I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for the love. It means the world when y'all throw up, positive comments, you're enjoying the content, or heck, when you, constructive criticism, honestly criticism. I take any input because this is a college football community. It's not just Anton show, okay? It's us as a community and channel, and I've got a lot of things and ideas and plans, but I look and see how you guys respond and how you're interested or not, because like I said, it's not me community, it's us. It's a whole bunch of us together, so I appreciate that, man. But yeah, I'm gonna be, let's see, what's today? Live stream sometime next week. I'm going to throw out some more content. I've got some ideas, but if y'all throw in the chat, you got or any of my comments, so if something you want me to analyze or talk about, I'll do that too. I have always a whole bunch of ideas as a creator, but I appreciate y'all all coming out tonight. And Jordan, and we did a lot of talking. We did some Diaz talking. Then we discussed some of the players and who we think, and interesting talks and perspectives, and on the QB room and all. Y'all have a great evening. I appreciate y'all. Look, college football is a great, exciting world, but y'all know what's coming. At the end of the day, we know it's all about the U. Peace out, guys. See y'all.